And Republican Congresswoman Cammack from Florida. She sits on the House Homeland Security Committee, and she joins us now. Congresswoman, thank you for being here. So we just showed everyone the pictures that you sent out of the shelf at the border facility and the shelf at a home grocery store. And then the Washington Post gave your picture, your tweet, 4 Pinocchios. They said it's not true. What do you say to them?
Well, I think that the fact checkers need to be fact checked. And listen, we all know that the Washington Post became an army of left-wing activists a long time ago. So they can keep on with their story, trying to push this crazy agenda. But we know that the facts are that the Biden administration and the FDA, they shut down our nation's largest manufacturer of baby formula with no plan in place to backfill the 43% of the market share that they make up. And again, the White House says they've been working on this for months with no plan, and just yesterday was the first time that Biden met with manufacturers. Convenient that they left out that they didn't meet with Abbott, the manufacturer that Biden's FDA shut down. They can't get any phone calls returned from the FDA, no emails, and as we saw in the FDA's own press release, Abbott was cleared, and there was no connection between those tragic deaths of those 2 infants and the findings in their manufacturing facility. Now, the White House won't give any updates about manufacturing coming back online. I can tell you, it takes weeks. And for the FDA to continue to wrap this all up in red tape, it's a slap in the face to every parent in America right now. I think I speak on behalf of all young mothers when I say this is unacceptable. Doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat, this is unacceptable. And no one is debating the morality of feeding children. I think we can all agree this is absolutely critical. But are we America first or are we America last? That's the question.
Well, it's interesting because I believe when Jen Psaki was asked about the 2 infants who tragically died, she connected it to that factory. But from what we're seeing, they have not shown a direct correlation in that bacteria to those incidents, which obviously are very tragic. And we can't make any determination about whether or not that, it leads to that factory. But those are just both sides of what's being said about that right now. Here's Brandon Judd, the National Border Patrol Council president, with regard to what the policy is at the border, because it is clear that under Flores, it's the responsibility of the government to feed and take care of people who they're holding at the border. And I think everyone understands that. But I think he puts it in a good way. He said, I can personally tell you the Border Patrol's pantries are stocked full with baby formula, while agents themselves are having a hard time finding formula for their own family infants. If this administration would not have caused this crisis by incentivizing illegal immigration through the catch and release program that has encouraged and emboldened people to cross, the baby formula could be on the shelves in stores. Now, Congresswoman, you're not suggesting that these babies shouldn't have formula who are being held in these facilities, I don't think, are you? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Of course not. Absolutely not. I agree wholeheartedly with what Brandon Judd's statement was. There is a responsibility now that these children are here, and we are the most generous, prosperous nation on this planet. We would never turn our backs on these kids. But let's be clear, Biden has invited these people and these children, and these children are just pawns in this political agenda that the left is driving. I have been at the border 3 times, to be specific. I have held these children as they have been threatened to be tossed out of a raft by a coyote bringing them across the border at 3 o'clock in the morning, and there's video evidence of that. I have held a young 9-year-old little girl whose vocal cords had given out from screaming so loud because she was gang raped by cartel members. I have seen the horrors. Has the border czar been there to see this? No. Has the trafficker in chief, Biden, been there to see this? No. It is infuriating. Our Border Patrol agents have been doing everything they can, taking care of these kids like they were their own. It's the most heartbreaking situation, and it's all Biden's doing. He needs to step up, own this crisis, and get our baby formula manufacturers back online. Our American children are hurting as a result of his inaction.
Well, I think it says a lot that you say that Abbott was not included in the conversations that were had. And clearly, I think they do about 80% of a specific market of baby formula in the country. It might be 40. I'm going to double check that number. But it's a large part of the market, to be sure, that company provides. And I also want to point out that May 25th is when the House is going to take up a discussion about what to do about this. It's May 13th today. So we don't know what the wait is and why it takes so long. wrong. Well, it's only going to get worse.
It is.
Thank you, Kat Cammack, Congresswoman. Good to have you here today. Thank you very
so
much.
Martha. Have a good weekend.